Yo, 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 it's back. We're back again. Let me start this shit over. We put that on the outtakes, yo.
Let me start this shit over.
Yo, 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 it's your boy Ron and it is Vay. We're back at it again on the podcast that will not forever remain nameless. We still trying to come up with a name, but we're back again with a special show. Tonight we're going to talk about something that we can kind of relate to. We're going to talk about the underrated, the underappreciated, the ones that are slept on in our culture. We got a list that we put together we want to go through. What's up, Vay? What's good, man?
What's up, man? You good?
How you been, man? This is a good list, man. This is your. I don't want to take credit for this wonderful idea. I think it came to you in the middle of the night, and you hit me. It was like, yo, let's talk about the underrated people that don't get talked about enough in the culture. So what made you think about this list, man? And where we gonna go with it today?
You know, I think a lot of the times when we do have these conversations, these barbershop conversations with hip hop, we kind of stick with a lot of the same. We talk about a lot of the same artists for good reason. Like, it's exciting in a lot of ways to talk about the Nas's and the Jay-Z's and all of that. But I think that there's just so many artists who are also your favorite rappers that deserve their flowers, for lack of a better way of putting it. I mean, there's just so many. And really, in thinking about the underrated, is actually a hard list to put together. And I know we're not putting them in order. I think we should stress that.
You tripped me up last week, man. Shout out to everybody on the last show, the Jay-Z and Nas joint. You did a little switcheroo on me at the last minute and have folks roasting me, man. You put me on the spot, but that's okay. I came prepared today. You ain't gonna slip. You ain't gonna catch me slipping today, bro.
Nah, man, you know, I'm not trying to, I ain't trying to catch you slipping, bro. You know, I just want to make sure we put our best foot forward.
You know That's why we don't want to be underrated for too long. We want to be highly rated and highly regarded in odd space, man. But
yeah, absolutely.
So where you want to go with it? You want to, I started off last week. Why don't you kick us off today? Who you want to start with, bro?
You know what, man? AZ. Let's talk about AZ for a second.
Let's talk about him. Let's talk about
AZ for a second. I think, you know, AZ immediately comes to mind because, you know, obviously he's someone that when we think of AZ, we automatically think of Nas, and for good reason. You know, one could argue that his verse on Illmatic, Life's a Bitch, you know, that's one of the best verses on that album. You can make a strong argument for that. But I think that over the years, you know, when we talk about artists with constant output, artists who are constantly working, artists who are always at it, pin game strong, and we're talking like strong efforts consistently, it's crazy that his name doesn't come up. And I think that also, I also take in consideration the era from which you came from. And, you know, this is somebody that was in the thick of the golden era. And to me, in my opinion, the hardest era to come up in. You know, when you coming up in the mid 90s, and, you know, your competition is, we just keeping it with New York rappers, you know, Big, Jay, Nas, you know, it's a lot of competition. And to be able to shine and have the respect of those peers, and still be able to do it, you know, to me, AZ just doesn't get talked about enough. And I'm just such a fan of, I'm a fan of him. He's a Pisces. That's my Pisces brother. But, you know, I think about Do or Die. I think about Pieces of a Man. I love Asiatic, the format, the format album, and the actual song. You know, we're talking. He has classics, man, that doesn't get talked about enough.
He does, man. And a lot of people talk about the Nas and Primo connection, but a lot of people don't talk about the AZ
Yeah,
and Primo connection. They got a strong connection. The come up is a.
yeah. Come
I
up.
mean, you could put that in a top 10 Primo mix, man, or top 20,
Absolutely.
top 20 without question. But you
Absolutely.
can arguably put the come up, in the top 10 Primo joint. Then you got
Yeah.
like Life's a B. I mean, arguably
Mhm.
considered one of the top 100 verses, maybe 150 verses in hip hop history, right?
Yeah.
And let me
Yeah.
go back to the Primo AZ connection. Do you remember? Do you remember the D'Angelo remix, the Lady remix, just the beat remix
Ooh.
that
Ooh.
Primo did? You remember that joint?
Vaguely. Ooh, you tell. Oh,
I,
good. Good. Yeah.
I came for you today, man. I
Yeah.
came. I wish we could play this song, man. We're gonna go talk to YouTube when I come to New York, and we'll meet the YouTube folks and see if we can start playing this music. But
No
yo,
doubt.
look up the Lady, just the beat remix done by DJ Premier with AZ on it.
Okay.
Crazy.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned Asiatic, the Essence off that album
Essence.
it's crazy. Then you
Yeah.
got Sugar Hill, as you said, the
Of
format.
course. Of
I
course.
mean, and then I'm gonna get into this guy. Or I'm gonna get into this group kind of a little bit later. But do you remember the legendary Weapon song with Ghost? And you're gonna talk about somebody else was on this song too. But look this one up too. Ghost, MOP, and AZ. That's a dope record, man. Dope record.
Yo, I'm being schooled right now. What's it called?
It's called Legendary Weapons. It's very rare. It's very rare.
Okay.
I don't even know what album was on, but I was in my bag because last week, man, the folks was roasting me. They said I was, my wife was sick. No excuses, no excuses. But I came ready today.
Nah.
I came ready. I'm
He's
getting
like,
old,
nah, man. No. I love that. I love that. Let these motherfuckers know, man. You know what you're talking about out here, man.
my mind ain't washed up like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the Lady, just the beat remix, DJ Premier, and that connection.
Okay.
We might need to do an episode called Dynamic Duos, right? Where we talk about the Nas and AZs. We talk about the Styles and Jadas. We talk about the Sheik and Jada. You know what I'm saying? You talk about Red and Meth. You talk about Ray and Ghost. And so yeah, you started off with AZ. That's a good one. I think he is underrated because of the time he was in. So I'm gonna segue. Since I brought up Wu-Tang, let's just keep it Wu. Let's keep it Wu. Capadonna. I think Capadonna is not thought of as when you bring up the Wu-Tang, you're gonna bring up Ghost, you're gonna bring up Ray, you're gonna bring up Meth, you're gonna bring up ODB, you might even talk about Liquid Swords, Jizza, you might even get to Inspector, you might even get to RZA, of course. But it takes a while for folks to really realize how dope Kappa was, man. And this might surprise you. Out of all the songs on the Purple Tape, Only Built for Cuban Links, do you know what my favorite record on that song is? The one I played the most, not my favorite record. Let me preface this. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want these comment warriors to hit me. Not my favorite. The one I listen to the most, which it might be my favorite.
There's so many, man. There's so many.
Ice Water, and it's because of Capadonna.
Yeah.
It's because of Capadonna. Ice Water is just a crazy. It sounds like Halloween. It sounds like a damn horror movie, man. You know what I mean? And the way he comes in that verse is just crazy. His verse on Ice Cream. Ice Cream is crazy. His verse on Wu Wear is crazy.
Wu Wear, yes. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, shit. Winter Wars.
There we go. I was waiting on that one. I was waiting on Winter Wars.
I got you, baby. I got you. Winter Wars. They say that's one of the dopest Wu-Tang verses of all time. Ever. So Cap is slept on. They don't sleep on Cap. And his album, The Pillage, was crazy. Slang Editorial, one of the best.
Editorial.
I used to say I went to the fork in the road and went straight. The Gambino's 8. His verse on Daytona 500 is crazy. And then people talk about Ghost and Ray. You can really see. I really look at them as a trio. I mean, look at the cover of Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's them. He's on a lot of those records. You know what I'm saying? His verse on the Jump Off. I mean, damn, Milk the Cow. I mean, you know, you got a lot of shit, man. Wu Wear. I said Wu Wear, man. Capadonna don't get his love, man. We're gonna give Capadonna his flowers today, man. Shout out to
saw,
Cap,
man. I actually saw Capadonna perform at a this was years ago when I first moved to the city. My boys, they rappers or whatever, but they was in the group, but they had opened up for him, and cool dude, man, real cool, and he was just on some cool shit, but like as down to earth as they come, and you know, I think he did win awards. He did Slang Editorial. It was like he did a short set. It was maybe like 10, 15 minutes because it was like it was sort of a small venue. But you know, I also like seeing folks perform because you also get a glimpse into how real what it is, what you're listening to on the record. And there's some others, like as we do get more into the list, talking about performances or whatever. But yeah, it was a dope performance though.
No doubt. Shout out to Capadonna, man. We need to get him on the show, man. And I haven't seen Cap perform apart from himself. So you saw a solo performance. You didn't.
Yeah, I saw a solo performance, but he held it down though. He held it down. Shout
out to Cap, man. So I went. Now it's your turn, Vay.
All right. So I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. We already mentioned these, so we may as well get to it. This is a group. I know we doing mostly soloists, but I can't mention one without the other. Billy Danze and Lil Fame. Mash Out Posse.
MOP.
MOP. Oh my God. So I might be a little biased. So for the people who don't know, I was signed for a short period of time. I was actually signed as an artist with Billy. This was like early 2010s or whatever. You know, and it was a great experience. Yeah, but I was always a fan. I was always a fan of them anyway. Just you know, Firing Squad, First Family for Life. Warriors is actually one of my favorite albums, just favorite hip hop albums, top to bottom. And I think that when we're talking about like the way they write songs is so unique. Talking about their chemistry, like their ad libs, their back and forth. And when we talk about dynamic duos, you know, to me, they don't get brought up enough, especially when we talk about greatest groups. We often hear Mobb Deep, we hear Outkast, we hear EPMD even, but I don't hear enough MOP. And I think also that they are supremely underrated lyricists. Like these dudes actually rap their ass off. Like to me, one of my favorite verses, Breaking the Rules. Bill's verse, his first verse on Breaking the Rules. What up, Bill? I'm a semi-automatic addict for real. What do you say? Right. Just know, what do you say? Before you test me, just know I think the impact from a gap when it kick back is sexy. What? Like he said, I put my foot down firmly, stick the nose in my gun and some shit that don't concern me. Like, you know, they wow with it, man. And you know, I could quote Fame too, but I just think, just in general, those two dudes, they don't get enough credit for their contributions. I had the pleasure of opening up for them at SOBs for Fame had it was an album release party with his project with Terminology, and it was at SOBs, and I met Large Professor, Tony Touch. Like there's a few folks that was in the building, but you know, we did our thing. Like I did my thing. There was a couple artists also signed the bill. We did our thing, and then we got to see MOP go on. Now, Ron, I have seen a lot of shows, bro. I've seen a lot of shows, a lot of live shows. Like I've seen Woo, I've seen Public Enemy. I've seen Jay. I've seen Nas, Kanye, Kendrick, run the gamut. I've even seen Schoolie D, not was it Mona Lisa? No, Roxanne Shante. Like I've seen a lot of shows. There is nothing like the energy of when MOP throws on Annie Up. There is nothing like it, bro. There is not like, you will never, like, bro, the energy I've never seen. Like it was so crazy. They actually had to run the shit back. They had to run the shit back like 3 or 4 times. And it's just like, you know how the shit starts, that as soon as you hear that intro,
it's
pandemonium.
It's crazy.
Pandemonium. And you know, oh, like it's nothing like it. And so that shit, like I got chills just thinking about it. It's, you know, so yeah, MOP deserves their flowers, man, because those two fellas don't get enough credit, and they've contributed a lot.
They don't, man. And I wanted to say, you know, I got chills hearing that too. I just pictured it in my mind the way you described it. I actually felt it. I'm like I was actually there. I can see it. I haven't seen that before, but I can imagine the energy in that place is just incredible, man. But you know, MOP, folks don't know they were affiliated with The Rock, right? You know what I'm saying? And they were also affiliated with G Unit.
Yeah,
which is a rarity. I mean, they were on both crews and they did some good work with both, man. Like I like, you know, what do you say on that You Don't Know remix on the Blueprint 2? He said,
Little Niglet.
I ain't these punk ass kids. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's like real raw lyrics, man. And then shout out to 300 bars. That was 300 shots. I'm sorry, 300 shots. With G Unit. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. And the thing about them too is, like, you're talking about the era from which you had to spit it how you live it, right? Like you had to, like, they came from the keep it real era where, you know, you just had to be real. And the thing about it is, like, though they are who they are, you know what I mean? Like it's real. And they are real. And like you gotta but they good dudes too. You know, like they straight Brooklyn, like they straight Brownsville, but also like stand up dudes. And I understand why folks fuck with them. Like I understand why they had to deal at The Rock, they had to deal at G Unit. Like they stand up dudes. And it just says a lot about their pedigree.
It does, man. The shout out to MOP, man. Let's give them the flowers, man. They deserve it, man.
Yeah, man.
They deserve it. All right, I'm up next. I think I'm gonna go down south. I'm gonna go home. And as a matter of fact, I'm just gonna tee it up. My next two turns. There you go. And I'm talking about the A, but I got a damn Texas hat on. How
come crazy. On, man. What's going on with you? What's happening?
No. Shout out to Dallas, though. I spent a lot of time out there, man. But the next two people I'm gonna pick, and I'm gonna go. Then Vay's gonna go. I'm gonna take it to ATL.
Okay.
Let's talk about Big Boy.
Yes.
Let's talk about Big Boy.
Yes.
Let's talk about Big Boy.
Big
Boy is grossly underrated. I mean, when you think of Outkast, the first thing that will pop up to people that are not in the know, that are not hip hop nerds or not in the music, you would automatically think Andre 3000. Hell, even within the circles, people just think Andre 3000. Mm-hmm. But if you think about the history of Outkast, the Dungeon Family, Southern rap, Atlanta rap, you got to say Big Boy is grossly underrated. I mean, even let's take his work outside of Outkast. His verse on In the Wind with Trick Daddy and CeeLo, right? And you got Kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Kryptonite. Everybody know about Kryptonite. Kryptonite had the streets knocking. You know what I'm saying? It still does. You put Kryptonite on. I don't know if you know. You were outside then, but when they used to play Kryptonite outside, you talk about people going insane.
Yeah, listen, man. I still play Kryptonite. Anytime I go home, Kryptonite is actually the first song I played. Like there's certain songs that get me back in my ATL bag, and Kryptonite is one of those, man.
Right. I mean, I remember when the Braves won the World Series, we were at Truist Park. We were out there, right? And at the Battery, and when they put Kryptonite on, it was just like pandemonium, man. I mean, from all walks of life, people were just like, and I'm used to, and I feel you, because when I come back home from the airport, I used to put that on. It's like,
you know, because you if you this is real, but when you go up the escalator coming out of the airport, and you see that big, you know what I'm talking about, the big
screen. It used to be the hands out. It used to be the hands out.
Yeah, it used to be the hands out. Right. But like the movie that plays in my mind, like I'll be having my headphones in and Kryptonite is on as I'm coming up that escalator, and it's like, yes, I'm home.
Yo, man, great minds think alike, brother. We didn't even make this conversation. This is shit. Right. This is organic. So let's go outside of rap. I mean, you can talk about Tightrope with Janelle Monáe. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about let's go back to rap. We can talk about his Killer Mike connection, Run the Jewels, Banana Clipper. You can talk about let's take it way back. You can talk about his verse on Dirty South with Goody Mob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can talk about and then let's talk about Outkast stuff. Because I would say on Outkast records, Big Boy, Quiet as Kept, got Dre a few times.
Yeah.
Would argue that verse on Bombs Over Baghdad verse is better than Andre 3000. I would argue that his song, you might not agree with me, but
that's tough.
His artist storytelling, I think his verse, because on Bombs Over Baghdad is when that Dre starts it off, but that when that beat starts and then when the beat drops, you know what I'm saying? Big Boy's that part, the music changes, right? And he's just riding it, you know what I'm saying?
So that's another episode, man. That's another episode, because Dre started that shit off right though. But I feel you though. I feel you can argue it. You can argue
it. It's just because how the beat changes, he got the drops. You know what I'm saying? You can make an argument. Big Boy, that's verse on the
you're right. You're right. You're right.
Stop, control. You know what I'm saying? Hit us in the chat. Let us know if you agree or disagree. And then artist storytelling. You can make an argument that Big Boy's verse is better. You know, you can make an argument that his verse on a song with
Barbie.
Skewed on the Barbie. You know what I'm saying? And then you got West Savannah, which is a Big Boy. Big Boy's the only one on it. And then you got International Players Anthem. Now Dre started it off, but you might say you can make an argument that Big Boy got off on that. But I think he gets overshadowed by the enigma and the artistry of Andre 3000, and we don't give Big Boy enough credit about how dope he is, man.
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head, and I think that Stax, you can make an argument for Stax that he may have like a tad more style, and I think that's what people are drawn to in terms of just the persona. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not to trivialize what he does on the mic, because obviously he's crazy on the mic, but I think that just his style in general is just a little bit more flamboyant in that way. But I truly think that Big Boy just doesn't get enough credit for his flow. Like he makes it look effortless. Like he's one of those where it's effortless for him. Like I think about, and this isn't one of their best songs, but I think about Jazzy Belle even, where, it was a single and it, is obviously for the radio, but you forget, like when you actually listen to his verse and see what a tricking his hoes and polo clothes like this, like it's like he's actually snapping on that shit. He's snapping on that shit.
Right.
And you don't even you really don't catch it because it's so effortless, and he does it in a way that it's not as, it's kind of understated in a way. I'll say too, another song that comes to mind is 85. Young Blood's 85.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got off on that.
Yeah. And then like this man has a solo catalog. he has a tight, like solid solo catalog, man.
Yeah,
Like
Exhaust is also
Thickets,
solo. Right.
bro. The Thickets is my shit. You remember
Right.
that?
I remember that joint.
He got the joint in the A with Tip and Luda. Like he got a few joints, man. He got a few joints. And I think that what he also doesn't get credit for, and this is someone, you know, 3 Stacks is in my top 3. He's in my top 3. I got Nas, J, and 3 Stacks. But it's more because of what they influence in me as an artist. Like and it's more to do with the style, more to do with Andre's style. But as a Outkast collective, you can listen to Outkast music and you hear exactly which of the two may have had more of a hand in the creative aspect of it. And again, it's not to discredit Andre, but so many times I think that Andre gets more credit than he may deserve at the expense of Big Boi. You know, we just totally gloss over Big Boi in a way that's just not fair to both of them. It's not fair to both of them. And I don't want to put down Dre to lift up Big Boi. I just think that Big Boi, he's on the same plane or higher because of the work that he's put in.
I can see that. I can see that. And I was thinking as you were saying that about the artistic, inputs of both. Wouldn't it be great to have one more, just one more Outkast album?
Yeah.
Just one more.
Yeah, man. And like, I don't disagree with Andre a lot, but I didn't agree with him when he was saying, what am I going to rap about at this age? A colonoscopy? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Picking up kids from school.
Because it was Andre that said, let's talk about time traveling, rhyme jabbling, something mind unraveling, get down, instead of bitches switching hoes to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was the one that said that.
Right.
So yes, rhyme about
travel time. He got old. We all get old. That's part of time travel.
Yeah. So, I would, as a diehard Outkast fan and as someone who's one of my favorite rappers is 3 Stacks, I would challenge him to find a creative way to talk about that real shit that you're going through as someone who's in their mid 40s. Absolutely. Because it needs to be, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Why not you?
Right. Well, we may be waiting on the new Outkast album, like we're waiting for Detox, man. So I don't know. It may never happen, man. Never. So you're up, brother. What you got after Big Boi?
Okay. You know what? Let's keep it south for a minute.
Let's keep it south.
Because I got a couple south, and I'm not gonna step on your toes here. I'm gonna say Currency.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Currency.
Okay.
I'm a big Currency fan, man. I was a fan of Currency since his Cash Money days when he was on Where the Cash At. Is that the name of the song? I think it's called Where the Cash At. Yeah. Just off of his style alone, like I like his voice and all of that, and his nickname is Spitter for a reason. And but to me, what solidified it was the Pilot Talk series. When he branched off and he got with Dame Dash for a brief period of time. And I love Dame Dash. We should have an episode just on that dude, alone, but that's another thing. But Pilot Talk was like, that was that moment. It was like, yeah, he found his voice. He found his lane. Now it's time to run with it. And to me, Pilot Talk is one of my favorite albums. Any genre. Like, Pilot Talk, and that album, if we talk, I know we're gonna have an episode where we talk about underrated albums. That will be on that list for me. Pilot Talk 2 doesn't disappoint. Pilot Talk 3, like, it's great. And I think with Currency, again, same as AZ, where we talk about output, and we talk about rappers who are constantly working. What are you gonna say about Currency? A man that drops on average 4 or 5 albums a year. You know,
Right.
sometimes there have been years where he's dropped 7. There have been years where he's dropped 4, and then everything in between. But it's like, bro, and then on top of that, he's surprisingly versatile. Like you wouldn't think, like you listen to Pilot Talk, at least I did. When I listened to Pilot Talk, I love the album so much, it put him in a box for me because you're this kind of rapper. I just automatically, and it's just me being such a fan of that work. But then you see he can then switch it up and make a project with Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. You know what I mean? And I don't know what, I think there was like some behind the scenes drama with that, but either way, the album came out fantastic. The album came out ridiculous. And then he can even get with a JD. And I mean, I love the project he did with JD. I hope I hope there's another installment to it, but we're just talking about somebody who found his voice, found his own way, made his own way with his Jet Life imprint, and hit the ground running. And I love seeing that. And he doesn't, like, he has his brand of music, and he doesn't stray from that, man. And I love it.
Yo, shout out to Currency, man. Shout out to Currency, man. You spoke so eloquently on him. I don't have much to chime in, but I do want to listen to Pilot Talk, digest that, and when we have that show about the underrated albums, I'll give you my review on it, man. But I didn't know that was one of your favorite albums, though.
Oh man, it's bro. Like, he got a joint on there with Jay Elect and Mos Def. He got a joint on there with Snoop. He got a joint on there with a young Stally. Because this was around when Stally first came out. Yeah, it's really well done, man. It's really well done, and understated. Like, he's spitting his ass off, and it, to me, because I was trying to describe Currency to one of my homeboys who at the time, like, he didn't understand like why I like Currency so much, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but he a slick talk rapper, man. He a slick talk rapper.
He a game spitter. He a game spitter from New Orleans.
He a game spitter.
He a game spitter from New Orleans.
Yeah, and I love that shit, man. I love that shit. Like, he just be spitting game, and he funny. He funny as shit, man. Like, he's funny.
You got a sense of humor about it.
You got a sense of humor. Like, it's super dry, but like, you listen to him, it's like, oh, this dude funny as shit. You know, and it's like, how can you hate that?
You can't hate it, man. Shout out to Currency, man. I got some homework, man. Pilot Talk. I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna revisit it. I'm gonna revisit it this afternoon. All right, so I'm on deck. Let's take it back. Let's take it back east. Let's go back home. Let's go back to Atlanta. You might be surprised that when you and I, you didn't have this. We were texting earlier. You didn't have him on your list. When I'm thinking about hip hop and I'm thinking about the era he came up in, and I remember when Mike and I were dumb, we didn't know. We knew his cousin, and I think he went to Pebblebrook for a while, for like a few days. Little known history fact.
Who was his cousin?
Shauna Peterson. I don't know if you remember Shauna. She was that was his cousin.
Yeah. No shit.
So we heard I'm Serious back in the day, like the Arista put out, right? And
yeah,
I don't know if I think Mike was, I don't know if he was hating, but Mike didn't like it. We tossed it. But that was foolish, because after a while we came to appreciate I'm Serious, and the artist I'm speaking of, for those who do not know, is the King of the South. The King of the South, Clifford Harris.
He was
underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah. And someone argue, like, how is he underrated? He's very popular. He had his time, but I think when he came out in that era in the 2000s, 50 was popping. Buster was still running out there. You had 50 was there. Ja Rule was out there. You know what I mean? You had who else? Eminem was out there. Jay was out there. Then you had X was kind of tailing off, but T.I. Luda was out. So in Atlanta, he was competing with Ludacris. But I just don't think as time goes on, we have these discussions, especially when the talk ratcheted up during Hip Hop 50. A lot of people don't bring up T.I. They don't bring up T.I. They don't talk about, the King of the South. They don't talk about his work. Hold on one second. Let me get my charger real quick because it's about to die. I'll punch back in.
Yeah, no. I put mine on mute because I got all of New York City in the background and shit. So,
all right, hold on. Let me grab my charger real quick. So, I mean, if you're from the South, you're from Atlanta, where I've lived for several years, you'd be hard pressed to find one artist's music that was played more than T.I. I mean, you can make an argument for Jeezy, you can say Gucci, you can even say Cass, but in his time period from 2001, 2002, all the way to 2008, T.I. was the
yeah.
I'm Serious, Urban Legend, King. I mean, he got the little legal situation kind of helped put him on ice for a little bit, but you got the Down with the King, Gangsta Grillz mixtape. I mean, I got a list of things. I mean, T.I. is just. I'm so old. I'm running out of breath, man. Damn. Hold on. I just went upstairs to get my charge. You got the song. One of Kanye West's underrated beats on "I'm Serious" was
"Doing My Job."
You know what I'm saying? Then you got the you remember "No No No" with Cameron and I think Jay Mills. Like, oh no!
Yeah,
I went crazy on that song. Man.
You know what's another Cameron collab? I think it was called "Crown Me."
Remember that? That's on my list. That's on my list,
yeah.
brother.
Oh, "Crown Me" is my shit.
He went crazy on "Crown Me."
Crazy.
His flow's like, get back. He went crazy. Then you got then he did Jackin' for Beats on that that was the Gangsta Grillz joint. I mean, T.I.'s wordplay, man, from a lyricism perspective. That's just he had it all, man. T.I. can rap. He can rap with the best of them, right? If you want that lyrical miracle stuff, he can do that. He got bar work, double entendres. You're looking for that. He had joints for the ladies. He had joints for the clubs. A lot of people don't want to see T.I. if he were doing a versus. It would be a long day for a lot of people, man.
Yeah,
people, man. He don't get enough credit, and his name doesn't just pop up when I think maybe his later works and maybe the reality show kind of took away from his mystique. I mean, if you remove the reality show and he has some stronger, because I think his last dope effort was maybe Paper Trail or T.I. versus T.I.P.
No. He had
his last dope effort.
Yeah, I guess you could say top to bottom, but he had because the last album Libra was cool. He had Dime Trap. Dime Trap was actually kind of dope.
It was Dime dope.
Trap. Yeah, he had because he got this joint on there. It surprised the shit out of me. He got this joint that Just Blaze did that was like, oh, yeah, yeah, and he starts the album off with it. Dime Trap was cool. Paperwork was cool. Yeah, like he got. I feel you. I actually feel you. Like, I don't think his albums after No Mercy, I don't think they hit the same, but they're not bad albums. They just, obviously, trap music, Urban Legend, King, those albums, like they just kind of hit different, but I can't say that he's ever, there was a moment where he fell off either. You know what I mean?
No, it's like the 50 Cent conundrum, right? Is that he put so much dominant in such a short amount of time.
Right.
It has so much music, people might have grown tired of him.
Yeah.
But they remember how dope he is and how dope he was, man. I mean,
Yeah, but you right though. He doesn't get enough credit as a lyricist and as like a rapper's rapper. Like I think you remember I'm Illy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he said at the end of the song, you know, I can do this when I want to. And
Right.
it's like absolutely. And to me, I peeped the lyricism since I'm serious. I peeped the like out the gate. It's like, okay, he a rapper. Just his ability to like the wordplay and all that, but he's also a storyteller. Like the song Still Ain't Forgave Myself.
Right.
Like great, man. Like just yeah, man. He's really not talked about enough just when we talk about lyricists.
Right. He's a soulful brother too, man. You know, and it's like, you know, doing my job. I mean, that was like, you know, that's just I'm just doing my job. You know, it's like trying to help with the gas rent too. You know what I'm saying? It's just real.
We want to live like you. Yeah.
So we don't live like this. You know what I'm saying? It's just, yo, man. Yo, shout out to T.I., man, the king of the South. We're gonna give you your flowers on this unnamed podcast right now. But yeah, he's underrated in my opinion. People might be in the comments like, what the hell you talk about underrated? But he's not. You hip hop 50, nobody was saying T.I.
He's not the first name that comes up.
Yeah, you can't talk about the South without talking about T.I. You can't talk about Atlanta without talking about T.I. You can't talk about hip hop without talking about T.I. So that's my diatribe, man. Ron Vay, where we at on the list?
All right. I'm gonna do one more South and then we could take it somewhere else. Fontiga, man.
Okay.
Fontiga. Listen, man. I'm a Little Brother fan, but I'm a Little Brother fan because of Phonte. And it's nothing against rapper Big Pooh, but like for me, they're like when I look at rappers, there's a lot of different factors that make for a great rapper. Sometimes it is the lyricism. Sometimes you just got a dope personality. And I think Phonte is somebody that just lyrically, man, he's a monster. But also he has the personality. Like, I just like to listen to rappers and get a sense of who they are as a person. And to me, Phonte sounds like some of my friends. Like he talks like just folks that I hang out, like regular dudes that I hang out with that's, you know, not in the street. You know, they just regular dudes that work, you know, that might work a tech job. You know, they might work in the service industry. You know, but they niggas too. You know what I mean? But they, you know, he's just a regular dude, and I think he embodies that so well. He's funny, he's sarcastic, and then lyrically, you know, it's crazy. And I think, I think everybody knows that Drake hit him out early in his career as a inspiration. And there's a reason for that, man. I think he is also one of the most versatile rappers that can actually sing. Like he actually sings, like sing. Like I don't know how many people know about his group, Foreign Exchange, where he's, you know, it's the R&B albums that he makes, but like just how versatile he is. But yeah, man, I just don't think on some rap shit, you know, I just don't think he gets enough. I don't think he gets enough credit. And especially with those Lil Brother albums, he has a couple solo albums, and he really, to me, he's actually the one. He was actually the first rapper that I heard rapping on some grown man shit that felt true. And it's not to say it's not taking anything away from like Kingdom Come. It's not taking anything away from Life is Good. It's not taking anything away from Dreamer Believer. And those are just 3 albums that come to mind. But when we talk about Andre 3 Stacks saying that he can't rap about a colonoscopy in his 40s, Fonte's doing that. You know, Fonte's talking about your health, keeping up with your health. You know, he's talking about all that. Basically, you know, motherfuckers getting old, your body catches up to you, and that's what we're gonna talk about. You know, and I like it. It doesn't get talked about enough. His content, and so you know, shout out to Fonte. He also put on. There's another rapper. There's another connection here with another underrated album that I'm gonna talk about later. But he's connected to my homegirl, Lyric Jones, who's another rapper. Lyric, she's from Boston, but she has Georgia roots. She has Atlanta roots, like Apache Cafe, all of that. But her last album was released with Fonte, and so you know he keeping his ear to the street too. So shout out to Fonte.
No doubt, man. And I find it interesting that one of your observations about Fonte is that you know he was a brother that you can relate to, right? And he was on his grown man shit, and then he reminds you of your friends, and that's kind of the vibe I got from him. And I think the reason that is, Vay, to keep it a buck with you, is because he's from the Carolinas. You know, a lot of Carolina cats. That's where my people are from. You know, I spent a lot of time as a kid in Georgetown, South Carolina. A lot of Carolina cats are what you allude to, right? What you cited. They can
time out. Hold on, time out. Where in the Carolinas? Because I got people in Carolinas too.
Georgetown, right between Myrtle Beach and South Carolina.
Okay, nice,
right between Myrtle Beach and Charleston, right? So
yeah.
So he's from the Carolinas, and Little Brothers of North Carolina group, and that Carolina aesthetic, you only get that realness, the authenticity, and you only get the relatability to it too, right? And some of my favorite Fonte verses is probably similar to yours. Slow It Down is one.
Yeah.
For You.
For You.
He got off on Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other one, I you know, that was my top three. But other one, honorable mention was you remember the one on Pete Rock Soul Survivor, Part 2, Give It to You. I threw you for a loop on that one. I stumped you again. Too old today, I got you.
He said, I got you, doggy.
You thought you had me last week, huh? You thought you had me.
Let's go.
Friend. But yo, shout out to Pete Rock. Pete Rock just dropped this song with Common today. Wise Up. It's crazy.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Crazy. So yeah, that's on that Soul Survivor too. Give it to you. Give it to you with Fonte, man. Check that out.
See, I thought you was gonna mention the song that he did with the Roots. He did a couple with the Roots, but The Day.
Right. Oh yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Shout out to Fonte. And he got a song on his So Help Me God on one of his solo albums where he just on some rap shit and just spazzing, man. Just spazzing.
Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
and then he got a joint. I don't know if you mentioned it, the joint he wrote to his father, or not, and the name is escaping me right now. But
I know what you're talking about. I had it on my list. I took it off, but it's in my notes somewhere.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yo, shout out to Fonte, man.
Shout out to Fonte.
We've been in the South for a little bit, man. Is that a running theme? Southern MCs are underrated. Is that the?
You know what? Probably. When we think of lyricists, we tend to think of New York and the East Coast, and even the Midwest. But I don't think the South is known for the lyricism. So I have no problem whatsoever shouting out the South in that manner. We know it's a strip club capital. We know it for the clubs and all that. We know it for the nightlife. But make no mistake, there's an underground scene. And motherfuckers get busy in the South, man. Some of the best lyricists come from the South.
No doubt. I'm gonna use that for the show intro. By the way, that was cool. That was good. We needed that. All right. So we talked about Fonte. We talked about Big Boy T.I. Mm-hmm. We talked about AZ. We talked about who else? We talked about Capadonna. I'm gonna go back up north.
All right.
This man Eminem says was a big influence on his career. Pac said this man was not only a friend, but an influence on how he approached the mic. None other than OPP's curator and authority, Treach, Naughty by Nature.
Yeah, man.
Treach, we don't get a lot. Treach doesn't get a lot of props. It's not talked about in the conversations. When you think about 1991, 1990 to maybe 1997, and then he came back in 1999 with another one. So let's say 8 years. You're not going to find too many people flowing and rapping and spitting like Treach that can really spit with you, that can really go to toe for bar work, and then have that pop appeal, have that mainstream appeal, and have hit records. I mean, you got OPP. Everything's going to be all right. Not even a single. The Wickedest Man Alive is crazy. Got Guard Your Grill.
Yeah.
Uptown Anthem, of course.
Uptown Anthem. Yeah.
Hip Hop Array, Feel Me Flow.
Of course.
Even the craziest.
Craziest.
And if you want to take it and say it was whack and it was just like lame, it still was it was a bop. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to KG. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Vinny. You know what I'm saying? But Jamboree was tight. I like Jamboree. You can knock Jamboree all you want, but you can't tell me that Treach wasn't snapping on them damn records. You know what I'm saying? So Treach doesn't get spoken about often. People that rap, people like Uve that rap, produce, that are in the pocket like that, know how dope Treach was.
He also wrote Jump, which I didn't know. I didn't know he I think I'm like 95% sure he wrote Jump. If I'm wrong, people in the comments, let me know.
I mean, it sounds just like Treach.
But because the line that he said in Craziest was, I'm hitting Atlanta and Jermaine because he owed me loot over that Jump shit.
Oh.
I think I saw an interview where I think it was an interview I saw or maybe read that was like he wrote that, which is and I guess he hadn't gotten paid for it or whatever. I think, but it sounds like it's plausible. It's plausible. So, Treach he doesn't get a lot of credit for like his ability just as a songwriter. Like all the songs that you name, man, like his ability to just put together hit records, you know, rooted in hip hop. You know, at no point did they ever sell out. You know, or you ever got that vibe from him. He's still, you know, even over a track like Feel Me Flow, where Feel Me Flow is classic, but that was also a hit record. But the way he's flowing over that shit on some hip hop shit, like what you gonna say, man?
I mean, he was a underrated star. I mean, he was a star. I mean, and he can rhyme. I mean, people forget how dope he was on that mic. I mean, and it was effortless too. I mean, he was just really spitting, and he can do the street shit. He can hit you with some club shit. Even with his club shit, he's still rapping. Yeah, it ain't like he's just talking about some cheesy shit. He's like he's rapping for real, and there's a difference. And he was able to maintain his credibility as an MC and still create songs like, you know, Feel Me Flow and Hip Hop Hooray, and it's their mainstream records, but it don't sound so detached from his roots in Jersey, man. But shout out to Treach, man. I didn't get a chance to see him. He was he did New Jack City, the play. You know what I mean? And I didn't get. Did you see it?
Man, that's my people, man. That's my people that put that together.
Oh, really? You saw it?
So my guy that I work with, and actually like he mentored me, sort of taught me how to write scripts and taught me how to write plays and like structure, like story structure and all that. He directed it. He didn't write it, but he directed it. But yeah, man. Yeah, it was. I saw it when it was in Brooklyn. It came to Flatbush, and you know it was fun. Shit was fun.
Man, I hope that they bring it back, man, because I missed it, man. I didn't get a chance to see it. I had long enough, but I had, you know, these kids, man. I can't do shit with these damn kids.
Yeah,
you know.
No, bro. You know, I feel you on that. Yeah, shout out to Jay Kyle, man, because he doesn't. He's the director of New Jack City, and he also did. It's like escaping me now. Basically, all those shows, like there was Baps, there's a stage version of Baps, all of that. So yeah, his name is Jay Kyle Manze. Good people.
Shout out to Jay. So I'm gonna tee you up, Vay. I'm gonna tee you up on this one because when you text me early in the pre-production text, we don't have meetings. We have pre-production text.
Right.
We'll have meetings when we have a damn name. But in our pre-production text session, you said you thought Nicki Minaj is underrated. So it's your turn. Comment section.
Oh man, I was gonna go to the ladies, but I wasn't gonna go to Nicki Minaj first. But since we're there,
brother. We there.
And I already know folks like Nicki Minaj, man, I done heard enough. Hear me out. I just think that simply put, Nicki Minaj doesn't get enough credit for her pen game. And I think that it's unfortunate that her music doesn't reflect her actual talent. I think that she is more talented than the music that she has put out, at least on a hip hop level. I think that she hit the fork in the road. She could either go one way or the other, and she went the pop route. And unfortunately, that's at the expense of the hip hop side of things. And I think about someone like Cardi B, who, I think that Cardi B makes, and it's not to pit the two against each other, even though they don't fuck with each other like that anyway. But I think that Cardi B makes better rap songs than Nicki Minaj. Cardi B obviously doesn't write her own music, but she makes better, just listenable songs. Like Bodak Yellow is crazy. Like you can go down the line with Cardi songs. But Nicki, you can say whatever you want about her. She writes her own stuff, and when she does rap, it ain't whack. You know what I mean? And so I feel like we just don't get enough. And it's similar to Drake, actually, where me personally, I prefer Drake rapping. Like I don't like him singing. Like maybe that's just me. Somebody likes him singing because he made a whole damn album with him singing. But but me personally, I like Drake rapping, and I'm the same way with Nicki Minaj. I like when Nicki Minaj gets in her rap bag, because when she does, she goes in and she can say with confidence, "No, I write all my shit. Don't even try to paint me with that brush. Make no mistake." She puts time and effort into her bars when she wants to. Similar to T.I., like when she wants to, she can do it. And so I think that what would make her underrated is her level of talent. She doesn't get enough credit for how talented she actually is. It's just unfortunate that we don't have enough music to reflect that.
Right. And you're absolutely 100% correct. If I put my A&R hat on, you can just see and you can hear the talent that Nicki has. Like, remember when before she got to be Nicki, Nicki Minaj, and she did that Warning.
Yeah.
That cup.
Yeah.
So she can rap, and you can hear it. I mean, you heard her in the trap. You heard so many type of records. Even on her new joint, the Pink Print too. You know what I'm saying? She's rapping.
It's a great album. She redid Biggie Dreams. And that shit was funny.
Right. And it was tight. You know what I mean?
Funny. Yeah.
Spit. She can rap. And we can cite Kim. We can cite Foxy. We can cite, I know you're going to name someone else on the list in a minute, but we can cite other female MCs, even like Queen Latifah, that has like hip hop records that are in the pantheon of all time great hip hop records.
Right.
And I wish we could do that for Nicki, because I think 20 years from now, 30 years from now, people are not going to understand how dope Nicki was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we not right. Like we not playing Starships. You know what I'm saying? Like we not playing Starships now. You know what I mean? Like, and it just sucks that she doesn't have, you know, she has moment for life. Like I'm just trying to think about her more timeless, notable songs. And I mean, Moment for Life is definitely up there. And she has a few, but not enough for as long as she's on the hip hop side of things. Now you can make an argument on the pop side of things, but I'm just talking, you know, on some hip hop shit. That's where I think someone like Lil' Kim has her, you know, but even Lil' Kim, that's the thing, even with Lil' Kim, you know, not saying all of Kim's stuff was written, obviously, but like there's a reference track of Queen Bitch floating around with Biggie, you know, so Biggie obviously wrote that, you know, and I think that's the one thing that regardless of what it is, Nicki can hang her hat on. Like nobody writes for me, and I can rap my ass off when I want to.
Right. All right, so since we teed it up, I got you off your square a little bit. Went to the ladies and whatnot. Let's keep it with the ladies, man. Let's continue with the ladies real quick.
This next rapper said, I be in San Juan, horse and carriage like Cameron. I be in San Juan, horse and carriage like Cameron. Niggas try to bite my tampon with my pants on. And I was like,
whoa.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Who I'm talking about is none other than Dirty Harriet, Rah Digga.
Woo.
Rah Digga. Rah Digga.
Insane.
I first discovered Rah Digga on Lyricist Lounge. And there's a clip I think the clip is on YouTube too, but they're doing it's like the closing credits, and it's like her, Wordsworth, and a couple of other dudes, and Mos Def is in there. But they just doing 4 bars. It's like the closing credits. You see the credits going down the screen, but they just freestyle and they just ciphering. And yo, she was giving them the business. She was on some freestyle shit, just off the top, you know, because that's what they do. She was giving them the business, bro. And so that was like, okay, like she's crazy. And I feel like when we think about when we think about female MCs, the obvious women come up. Few that we just talked about, but you know, again, we talk about, you know, ain't nobody writing for this woman, you know, so let's stop that narrative. And Rah Digga is better than most dudes. You know what I mean? Like she's better than most dudes. And there's not a lot of rappers that can say that. Like, and so, and I think that for as long as she lasted, she also lasted a tad longer than a lot of her counterparts and or rappers who were similar. So like I think about Heather B. And Heather B she was a few years, I think Heather B was like 95 and Rah Digga was like late 90s or early 2000s, but similar style just in terms of how they
approach the mic.
Their approach to it. And you know, and then I think about like Mia X, you know, just who again underrated in their own right, but didn't quite last as long as Rah Digga did. And I think that is a testament to her contributions and her skill and all of that. And also shout out to Rah Digga because the connection with Lyric Jones, Fonte, but Rah Digga also mentored Lyric Jones in a lot of ways. And so, yeah, Shout out to Rod Digger.
Shout out to Rod Digger. Tight. She, like I said, she approached the the mic like a dude, and that was one of the things that gravitated me toward her, right? Because she wasn't like a traditional female. She was rapidy rap. You know what I mean? She was rapidy rap, and shout out to the Flipmo Squad and Rod Digger. So, Vay, close this out because we don't have a name for our podcast, but some dad shit is going on right now, and I've got to pick up the little man from school. So close this out with the last underrated MC. It could be female. I know you had another female on the list.
Yeah.
Or you want to go somewhere else to kind of close this out today.
Oh man. You know what? Real quick, I know what I'm gonna do. Don't compare me to jokes. Don't compare me to jokes. I strangle the air in your throat like you jump from a chair and choke in midair from a rope. Got a big gun to carry a scope, the flare in the scope, keep niggas soft like words librarian spoke. Elzhi.
Detroit stand up. Okay.
Yo. Elzhi got a video on YouTube where he's breaking down just how to rap. And he's talking about like patterns and all of that. Like if you are somebody that just is just learning how to rap, and just want and you just want to get the a textbook explanation and a textbook example of what it means to rap your ass off just on some be barred up shit. Man, Elzhi he's a whole problem. Elzhi is a whole problem, bro. Like Elmatic.
Elmatic, what a proper remake. I mean, one of the dopest remakes, and you can't even call it whack. Because most people would be like, Elmatic, you remaking the joint is whack. Nah, man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you knew the verse that I was quoting before, but that I actually discovered him. Now, I may have been late on this, but I discovered him on Lil Brother's song "Hiding Place."
Right.
And I thought it was Phonte for some reason because they have a similar tone of the voice. But I was like, oh shit, Phonte snapped on this, and then it's like, nah, motherfucker, that's Elzhi. I was like, oh shit, like, and he got that, like, bro, like I was like, who is that? Who is that dude, man? Yeah, man, Elzhi, he's just one of those, especially when we think about Detroit rappers. What's crazy? I'm sorry to cut myself off. We didn't do anybody from the West.
I mean, we could have did Spice One. We could have did Razzcast. We didn't do anybody from the West.
Yeah, I had Rage. Rage was my other female, but we didn't.
Man, I wish we had time, man, to do that. Yeah. Do you want to? I'm gonna cut this out. Do you want to punch in about an hour? Can you? What's your time looking like?
Nah, I gotta dip too. But.
Yeah, it's a busy day today. So
it's all good though.
So yeah, we didn't get a chance to touch on anybody in the West. Maybe we have to do a part 2 at some point. Part 2, probably not next week because next week we got a big show planned. We're gonna go around the culture for the next show. We got some other kids that are gonna be outside or on the periphery, inside hip hop, on the periphery of hip hop.
Yeah,
hip hop adjacent is what we like to call it. But hopefully next week we'll put a poll up. Maybe we'll get a name by next week because we gotta start selling some shirts, man, some hats, and shit. Just start doing some stuff. We gotta get some money up so I can send a nanny to go pick the kids. This podcast got to pop, so we got to get a name. We can't pop off for it, babe, without a name. So we got to get a name. Yeah, but yo, thanks for rocking with us. This is Ron and Vay, the most underrated MCs, the most underappreciated MCs. Let us know what you think about the list. Hit like and subscribe. Make sure you go to accordinghiphop.com. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you comment. Give us some likes. Don't give us any dislikes. Let us know what you think. And also, if you think of a name, we'll cut you in maybe 2 cents royalties or something. But it's all good, bro. It's all good.
What the fuck with 2 cents, Ron?
Hey, man, you put a couple 2 cents together, you get your $1 bill at Burger King or something. I don't know. All right, brother, man. As always, man, it's According Hip Hop. This is Ron. That's Vay. Peace.
So them and they offspring is separated, but we
working and working, but I still got so terribly hard to go. Working and working, but I still got so terribly hard to go.
Up in Marietta where folk be on that E, like on the road students.